Hey, what's up?
Hey. How are you doing?
Hey, doing
Hey,
great.
man.
How are you?
Yeah, good. Nice to finally talk.
Yeah, for sure, man. So
Yeah.
how is the format? Are we like live streaming this to Discord or something?
Um, actually, we don't have any plans to live stream it. We're just gonna get people to join actually. But
Oh, okay,
Oh,
great. Awesome,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
yeah, I actually first thought we're doing kind of interview because it's recording. I was like, oh, is this going to
Yeah.
on YouTube? But
I think we would have I think if we use the Discord stage, I think it
yeah,
would be more like easier to use. Yeah, because like
yeah,
Zoom
and
is
you
kind
can
of
just ping people. I agree.
yeah.
Also, for the future, we would love to, you know, like we'll create our kind of podcast, or I mean, podcast is like too, broad term, just to like Atlantis show, and I would love to invite, you and other folks from Perp just to because we would love to establish not just high level but also deep relationship with you and your community, right? Like announcement is great, but what actually is more important is all the rest that comes after that, right? It's not just about announcement. That's for us, it's always the first step. So we would love to increase the community engagement, actually community getting to know. Of course, Perp is huge project, but still there's some people that new to Perp and just whole DeFi, and love to create this also kind of interactive, fun, also show in sense, right? Yeah. So we'll keep you updated on that.
Yeah. That would be really cool actually. Yeah, I actually listen to like a lot of podcasts in crypto, so
Yeah.
Yeah, we
On,
love we love the
yeah,
podcast, man.
yeah.
podcasters. Yeah.
Um,
On that
okay, we
note,
got
one
some.
of our favorite
Yeah, we got some
podcasts.
people joining.
Yeah. Awesome.
We also like in just on the podcast side, we have like a vote going on right now in Bankless DAO, like to create like Bankless podcast station and like building and even talking gated city like inside of Atlantis for Bankless DAO, which is super exciting. Like personally, I know so does Rev loves Bankless. So that's exciting on our side. And next week we'll also record on a couple of podcasts as well. So it's super exciting. And we'll do an AMA on the Polygon Twitter Spaces. So lots going on next week.
Cool. Yeah, we actually funded a grant for Bankless DAO. We talked to Eagle and Koros. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, we love that.
All right. Maybe we can like kind of officially start everything in like 3 minutes. Just see like if we can get more people to join.
Yeah, no worries,
Sure.
man. All good.
Yeah. Also, if needed, on our side, we can join Discord. That's fine. If you think that more people will be.
Actually, I mean, we could try that. I'm not really sure. Yeah. You guys will be doing a live demo that requires Zoom, right?
Yeah, I think you can't share with
Yeah.
Discord like stage, but you
Yeah.
can share with the community call, like with just voice chat channel. I'm sure you can share on that.
Okay. Actually, yeah, I don't think well, I've never tried that. So
I mean, maybe we should battle test it right now whilst we have some time. Like if I jump on, is there a voice channel anywhere? I
we only
see
have
Perp
like
stage.
yeah, we have perp stage.
Yeah, you can't share on that one, but if it's just ordinary voice chat, you can share, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just don't have admin powers in our Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess for this we'll just keep everything on Zoom, and then in the future, like maybe we can use Discord. Yeah,
Sure, man. Sounds good.
cool.
And you guys can actually like, instead of live demo, if you actually come and meet me there right now. We can hang out in the demo whilst we're having the call.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll do that right now.
We had like an AMA with FWB, and it was super cool. You know, we had them all running around the demo as we were doing the talk. It was great fun.
Nice. All
I
right,
see
I'm
Rev
just getting
there.
in there right now.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, I can see you. Cool. Yeah, I checked it out earlier. I saw there's like a virtual exchange, like a DEX right here.
Coming soon. Yeah, so the DEX building is where Perp will be like very soon. It's not finished. We need to take off the designers wrote like this huge like exchange virtual money for the virtual money. There's obviously going to be changed.
Yeah.
We have an updated version already, but we haven't pushed it to this link. But like, for example, if you join me on a bench, then we can have like chat that's gated to the specific bench. There's decentralized music player powered by Audius. You can visit the Rarible gallery and have a look around the museum. We have Bought It Yacht Club collection on display. It's for some reason broken a little bit on this link. We need to get that fixed. It was working on the other one this morning. Just like usually when you click on the NFTs, you can actually buy them, like or view them on Rarible, but there's something going on there. It's not working as it should. And then inside of Decentral Bank Building, we have currently Aave and Yearn live, which is pretty cool. So you can deposit into Yearn and into Aave, and it works. And then you'll see like DAO building. So we're talking to Snapshot, DAO House, and Arrogance that get that integrated. We're chatting with LivePeer, so we'll have like live streaming 24/7 inside of the restaurant and have this like social kind of hangout space. We just received grant from Pool Together. We'll be adding like ATMs where users can deposit into their like no loss kind of prize pool game. Then obviously like the Perpetual collab, super exciting on our side. We can't wait to have that kind of up and running. We should have something by the end of this week, if not like middle of next week. So then we can invite everybody in Perp community to come and test it out, which is super exciting. And you'll actually be able to trade perps from inside of this demo. So that'll be awesome, man.
Oh yeah, it's super cool. I just I saw the Aave and the Yearn thing. That's so cool.
Which is like I just seen that it was a comment. Someone said like, please can you like speed up the process like in the demo? Probably, I don't know if there is something with their internet or there is like critical point. Everything that you see on the demo is stored and loaded from IPFS. So it's like the centralized storage used right now. We actually, partake, in a couple of hackathons and won some prizes from Aave and Audius included. Yeah, that was fun. And also from Rarible, actually.
Yeah, and we won the best DeFi project on Polygon and Hackerfest, just on Hackathon News. But as well, guys, like if you want to come, like you can come hang out on these benches, for example, and then it's like you can text chat with everybody else that's on the bench. And we will be adding like very soon, we're working on it, like spatial audio and video calling, so that it's like in a similar way, but with the audio and video, which is super cool. You can also PM users. So we're building out that kind of functionality. Have the music player there. And like we're really cross-chain already. So you can either like buy NFTs from Rarible on ETH, or you can like deposit into Aave on Polygon. For example, like Perp will be our first like product offering on XDAI. So like I said, we're hoping this will be live by the end of the week, if not middle of next week. So then we'll be live on XDAI as well. And then we'll be kind of gearing up to push the Arbitrum side when it's ready.
Okay. I think it's kind of funny how we started with the first thought, okay, we'll have like 2-3 minutes, just walk around, and then we kind of pitched the demo. So we might just start from, introductions and why we're actually building that in the first place and answer all of your questions.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask you guys like just to give an introduction of yourselves.
Yeah, sure, man. So I'm CJ. I thought, this was like alpha-ly cool. I'll do a quick run of the demo while people are trickling in. Sorry for that. We got a little carried away. I'm CJ.
That was a lot,
I'm CJ. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Bad for
No,
this.
it's okay.
I'm CJ. I'm co-founder and product lead at Atlantis. Been jamming on Atlantis for the last kind of few months. Before that, I really had my interest first spike in Bitcoin in 2014 when I was a kid, after taking part in the Proton Mail beta, and just was kind of like almost fascinated really, and also incredibly motivated by kind of like even international political campaigns for internet freedom and digital rights. I was getting involved in them from the age of 10 and lying about my age, and literally like volunteering on political campaigns and working for like EU Pirate Party and things like this, like very early kind of like cypherpunk style. And then like 2017 started trading cryptos, was still only like 16 at this point. A couple of years later, really dived deep on Ethereum, and for like over 1 year now, I've been full-time building in the like DeFi NFT or GameFi space, as we now kind of know it. And I built kind of like one of the first 5 DeFi NFT projects that made it to the Ethereum main network last year. And I've been building in the NFT space since like daily transaction volume was around 100,000 US a day, certainly less than 200K. And now, as we know, it's continuing to grow at an unprecedented rate. But it's currently over 200 million. I've always really loved like perpetual contracts, but from like the early days using like sexes to do it. So definitely super excited about everything that's being built at Perpetual and what you guys are continuing to ship. And this is an incredibly exciting collaboration from our side.
Wow. Oh, okay. So you said you were only 16 in 2017?
Yeah, I'm 20 now. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're a very young team.
Wow.
I'm a bit older. Yeah, before coming to crypto in 2017, I was actually fully, like in entrepreneurship and all of that since 16. I started first by building, multiple websites, then it turned into like newspaper business featuring, intersection of business, innovation, and tech publications. Then I had like small exit, moved into retail, hospitality, like hotel businesses. I was running one. We actually achieved like best hotel. That was, mid-level hotel. I was fully managing it, and that was in Turkey. But we achieved like 9.7 on Booking, and that was like the best of the year hotel, which was incredible achievement in Istanbul. And then I just moved into fully tech side. Oh yeah, we can turn on cameras. I moved into full tech side first with like I know how to code and all that, but I wanted to do something more like visually. So I moved into 3D immersive environment, XR. I was creating virtual tours for mid to luxurious brands all around Europe and Scandinavia. So imagine, I don't know, like huge Norwegian electronic store, or like hotel, mansions, whatever it is. I was doing that together with a couple of people actually, and that was a branch of one Norwegian company that was top real estate player on the market. So after that, in 2017, I was like, okay, it's time for me to I explored the crypto, and for me it was like fascinating because I remember I was having a chat with a friend of mine on like, I don't know, 3K meters, the top of the mountain, and I just asked him, about this tag, and he's like, oh yeah, I actually invested in Bitcoin. Like, I do nothing now. I just have a really great accent. I was like, oh dude, that's great. But yeah, in crypto specifically, I've been leading business development on OneSys region exchange, and it wasn't that long since I kind of made my change into the centralized side, because I was in touch with a lot of great players, naming Casper Labs, Wimble, Horizon, Dash, and many other players. And I understood that, hey, that's the way, that's the place where I want to contribute, even though the exchange was great. But at some point, it's like, you have this central, you're working on centralized exchange, but you have decentralized values, right? So, and I moved into, social money, asset tokenization. We started like real estate tokenization. I was contributing to one startup. I was like, chief operational officer, whatever there. And still there, then it was like super early. That was pre-2020. Then I moved into social money, platform tokens, personal tokens, then DAOs, and recently it's like fully metaverse. And I'm also leading one decentralized oracle, adoption.
Oh yeah, you guys have like a really diverse background, like a lot of experience actually.
Yeah, and one thing to mention, all of our team is gamers. Like myself, I spent like maybe 10 years at least, you know, World of Warcraft, Lineage, I don't know, all the shooters, Counter-Strike, whatever you name it. And yeah, even our game designer, she has her Twitch account and she's also a YouTuber. And she even like developed some games, you know, small games, which is like mind-blowing. But she's, you know, designer. And she's 20 as well.
I remember like a couple of weeks ago, you can picture the scene. It's like 1 a.m. We're trying to jam on like a proposal, like a collaboration proposal. And it's like one of the questions is like, okay, like tell us about your team. It's like 1 a.m. and Rev's like, yeah, I was leading like World of Warcraft clans for like 10 years. Like I'm like, Rev, bro, you can't write this on the team description, man. It was like 1 a.m. We've been working for hours. Super funny, man. I loved it.
Well, like
Definitely
Warcraft
gamers.
It's crazy. Like just like 12-hour raids. Yeah, I actually
you know
like
it, man.
I'm a huge
Yeah.
gamer myself before, but I never played like MMO RPGs, or I didn't really play any RTS either. I realized like those categories are pretty popular for like a lot of people in crypto, but I was like a huge Counter-Strike gamer. I just liked FPS games. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, you know,
that's
coming
cool.
from
Yeah.
that background, we can see the, you know, the links between like off-chain and on-chain, and especially with like new models like play to earn and other, like this is just the beginning, right? Even like internally, we always say, you know, the metaverse and like blockchain gaming, it's not even, you know, got the traction that we'll get. Right now, it's all about NFTs. The next wave is 100% metaverse and, you know, blockchain gaming for sure. And what we've seen with Axie Infinity, you know, they're our friends. It's just the beginning. It's like, it's the small, it's not even 1% of what we'll achieve, you know, even them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think we're like super early in this whole thing right now. And I'm
And
just
it
like
just makes,
curious, like, yeah, go ahead.
sorry, I was just gonna say like blockchain gaming just makes so much sense, right? Like, okay, so a traditional game, like the value is just wholly extracted from the users and they actually have like no like participation in the upside. They really stand like other than having fun, there's very limited benefit there. Whereas like blockchain gaming can actually flip this on its head and like provide the shared value that everybody can enjoy. I think it's a natural kind of direction that will just be taken kind of no matter what, because it's so powerful, you know, especially, you know, Axie is a great example. And I think the numbers really speak for themselves in terms of like Axie's performance over the last year, and also like what's actually taken place there, and like especially all of the kind of positive impact that's been made in like the Philippines, for example. It's incredibly like motivating to see. We love that. We'd love to see like Axie pets inside of Atlantis as well. We had a little chat
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, I think what Axie is doing is like super cool too. And yeah, so like you guys actually mentioned something about like, so like Atlantis world is like, you guys want to bring like it's like open access to like everyone. Like you don't want to need like super like expensive hardware to run this kind of like game, right? So maybe could you guys like expand a bit on that?
Yeah, me and Rev are always like having the who's gonna unmute first. Like it's not way we talk over each other. I guess excited.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. We just really believe, you know, like as much as metaverse should be open, which okay, in crypto communities is validated, right? It should be accessible. And what we kind of mean by that is like existing virtual worlds in Web3. We love them, but let's think about, you know, like Decentraland, Voxels, Somnium Space, because they have this 3D and immersive focus, right? They unintentionally set a high cost barrier to entry, because in order to enjoy a seamless loading experience, you need to have really good hardware. So you need to go out and buy the latest iPad or gaming PC. And this can't be a reality even for most families in America. You know, never mind when we consider regions in the world where the income average is much lower. Like, so for example, I recently spent 4 months traveling around Africa. And like, this is incredibly privileged for me to say, but if my MacBook breaks in Tanzania, I can't buy a new one. You know, so actually it's not even about income. It's about the tech isn't even available, right? So we want to make this like super lightweight and accessible virtual world experience that you can access in a web browser, kind of on any device from anywhere in the world. And then beyond that, if we think a little more about these regions, it's like they're typically underbanked. The populations, they're typically underbanked, and predatory lending practices is absolutely standard. So we think that if we can start to gamify interactions with DeFi applications, leading DeFi applications, like for example, Perp, we can actually onboard like a lot more users into DeFi and into crypto using the gamification and interactive learning elements. Because, and actually these people, they stand to benefit an awful lot from innovations in this space. And then because we kind of are, just wholly crypto native, like kind of beyond that, we really want to build with crypto natives in mind. And we are doing that. And how we're doing that is by leveling up the kind of current chatter and social gaming experience from Web2 alternatives, like, okay, Discord, Gather, even this Zoom call, right, to a fully Web3 enabled metaverse, which has, the kind of Web3 building blocks, like even native DAO voting. It has DeFi and also like token gating. And then beyond that, we can have like opt-in, spatial video and audio calling, obviously opt-in because we want to kind of respect people's privacy by default. And then we'll also like be adding, like, we have text chat right now and like different rooms of text chat. But we have like huge priority of making the text chat side encrypted as well. And then really kind of build, and provide value to communities like Perpetual protocol and like the Perp community by designing, building, implementing like entire token gated cities for those communities, where they can have the social elements. Like I really see Discord as like an MVP for like metaverse and for social interaction in Web3. We can have all of this in more immersive, kind of gamified and Web3 native way, whilst interacting with all of the Web3 building blocks that are incredibly essential to us. If we think about voting in DAOs, if we think about using DeFi, if we think about token gating our kind of like Discord chat spaces and environments, we can just do it in a much better way. And that's what we're kind of intent on delivering on. We think it's like a natural evolution, right? So as much as it's like, okay, we're building super accessible and lightweight virtual world that anybody can access, and we're trying to onboard new users into crypto, it's also about building something, that's incredibly useful, powerful, and fun for people who are already crypto native and already kind of deep DeFi degens and users. And we also see like success on that side in those kind of collaborations.
Yeah, I think that'll be super cool. Like right now, it's like everything's kind of just like a Discord server, right? And like, it'll be like a new kind of way to just like interact with like the people of the server, and just doing like DAO voting, like everything. I'm also like just to like get our like viewers like to understand like what does like token gated cities mean?
Sure. So right now we are in touch and also, already partnered with Collabland. We'll enable, through Collabland, token gating inside of Atlantis. So for example, right now you're in demo, and that's actually fully designed, with in the future more like brand assets of CryptoPunk space. Okay, I see there's someone walking here, Chobani, hi. And the idea is exclusively for this space. If you have a CryptoPunk inside of your wallet and you connect as you're so on, like login screen, you connect with your MetaMask, like fully Web3 native way, you'll be able to, spend your time being within that city. But even more than that, you'll be able to use your CryptoPunk as your character, a hat, and the body, there'll be a lot of, in metaverse variables, could be, perp t-shirt, I don't know, perp clothes, whatever it is, perp hat, whatever, right? And you'll be able to hang out with those people, because we think right now, token gating is kind of limited to social, platforms like Telegram and Discord. And we've seen so far, it's really validated. People love that, right? And people, like, for example, through like token gating, you can, for example, prove that, okay, you're approved like Bored Ape Yacht Club, owner, or, maybe it's owner, CryptoPunk owner, or you have a specific token of, DAO, so you're a member of that DAO, right? Like, you don't need to trust person, you just trust the code, right? And the same here. So the middleman is gone. It's all, the code is taken place. And we just think that it creates another kind of commitment and a deeper relationship with the project. Let's say, like, if we go into like Perp, let's say the Perp, like token gated city, the token gating doesn't mean like you need to have, thousands of dollars in Perp. Just something as small as $1 could be a good way to kickstart that, because people go through, interactive learning models about Perp. They will learn more. They will just, even like bind Perp something that equal to $1, and accessing the the perp space, the perp city, to interact and see new design, new buildings, new assets, to just explore the land. It will be great. And also, we are highly focused on enabling network effects for all communities involved. And one of the ways of doing that, for example, imagine you're in Aave city, you will still be able to access perp and vice versa within like token gated city of CryptoPunks as well, all around Atlantis. And even more than that, that's the first step. The second step is we will incentivize communities to do so, whether it's through quest with, like reward mechanism, or quest with, badges in game, like you prove yourself to be a real OG, that kind of open up whole Atlantis map and you earn some, additional perks. The third thing could be, for example, with collab with a rabbit hole or some other, alternative. We can think about, okay, so we have an interactive learning models, right? Like what is perp, all the basics, then how to use it, etc., etc. But that's a bit like, theory side. There should be practical side. The practical side could be, for example, within this Web3 Academy, could be, quizzes, video, and etc. But the most practical side is actually when you go into that, DAX building and you interact with perp. And within DAX building, or even like right now, the central bank building, what you see is like super simple integration. Like you just see, simple Aave interface or your. This is, of course, not the last step that we'll make. Our goal is to gamify that. So imagine you'll actually walk inside of the central bank building, as you can do right now within like museum, and you'll see, Aave desk, compound desk, and other desks. And beyond that, there will be like multiple bots or even real humans that you'll, walk to, press like, and choose, okay, I'm having like troubles with Aave, please show me how to do that. And bot, that bot or person will walk you through to that desk and show you how to do that. So that's kind of another steps of doing that.
Yeah. Wow. That's really crazy. Yeah. I think like, I think this would actually like, if there's something like super cool going on in a specific city, it might incentivize people just to buy like a token for a specific protocol.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or
and
like, yeah, it just creates like a whole new like way of like maybe just managing like a community within the game itself instead of just like Discord.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also,
And then the thing, sorry.
Yeah, we're too.
I was just gonna.
Yeah,
okay,
go.
Okay, no, it's okay. Go.
Okay. Another great use case. Imagine you have a perp city, and within that perp city, you can have a multiple, token gated buildings. For example, we're exploring with Gnosis, 1KX, and even CoinGecko, building like token gated co-working space for their core contributors, which is super fun. And you can, you can walk inside of perp city, you can see, founders, core team members, and then they walk into their building where they work all day or half a day, whatever. And it's just fun. Or you can create a, let's say, kind of true OG perp space for the people who has, for example, 5 or whatever amount of POAP tokens from the community meetings. So once you achieve that level of commitment to the project, you can access another perks. And there's a lot of gamification around that, of course.
And I just wanted to add a quick note in terms of like you were talking about managing communities and how it's a really more like fun way to do that. It also goes beyond that, and it's more about the user ownership. So like Perp City is actually going to be owned and governed by like the Perpetual DAO or the Perpetual community, and it's like versus Discord, right? Which I know this doesn't happen like almost ever, but if Discord gets nuked, goes down, it's like okay. But see, like with Perp City, everything will be stored on IPFS, like securely on chain, and it will be kind of like on the governed by your users, which is also incredibly powerful.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we haven't even actually shared half of it. This, like what we shared, is part of the so-called token lands, and that's where big projects will be, and not just random projects. So our idea is in initial stages, like best players like yourselves and also players that we love that are supporting us, we'll airdrop the spaces, the cities for them. But for any other, project, human, individual, whatever, who wants to occupy that land and create their city, they will need to create a, proposal on, governance proposal to Atlantis DAO, and the DAO will, vote whether they're a good or bad player. And even if they achieve like confirmation, they will still not own the land, because we think about it as, let's say you change your location, you want to move, I don't know, to Spain and become Spanish citizen, you cannot just get your passport right away, right? Even if you're a billionaire, maybe you can get it from investment, but we will not allow that in Atlantis because we want to ensure long-term value add-on to ecosystem. So you'll need to prove yourself as a good player over time before, you know, you will get like, maybe you'll rent the place, the city for some time. And actually the revenue, most of the revenue within Atlantis will be shared with the community, with DAO members, which is super fun in a way, because we think if we are going to, you know, be community owned, we should build that within, you know, product from default, right? And that's why we are actually taking this hard road of, you know, exploring collaboration, grant support, and, you know, just meaningful relationship versus just, you know, rushing our token model, raising right away. And this doesn't mean that we don't have, you know, interest. Like we're in touch with A16Z, Paradigm, 1KX, Mechanist, Mark Cuban companies, and other folks. And we love them. We really appreciate their care and support. But we intentionally decided, okay, for some time, we're going to actually prove to the community, to the space, that we want to bring value first. You know, we want to first build, prove that. And also, it's not just about building. The keyword here is building with community, right? If you go into our Discord, you'll see that we have and we're fortunate and really humbled to have 1.4K active members. And just on that note, by active members, we don't mean even the numbers. Recently, we had a Gitcoin grant, and like literally half of these people invested, like supported us. We had around 700 supporters on Discord. And the fascinating thing is we never shared about it, like never. We just shared about it after it almost like ended, which is like, oh, wow, thank you, everyone. Like it was mind blowing. We raised like around 10K, whatever. It's again, it's not just about money for us, because if that's what just about money, we'll just, you know, raise the investment and just move ahead, grow the team faster and everything. We just want to provide value first to the community and build it with community, because community has a lot of great ideas which we want to implement. Like for example, our first ever model was, you know, green, like grass, different buildings. And then our community member, you know, came to us and said like, hey, why don't you know implement like cyberpunk style space? And we did, and you see what happened.
Absolutely. And like we're also exploring like solar punk for Atlantis City. We think it's a bit more of a fitting aesthetic. And yeah, just another point, like we were so humbled and like almost like blown away. Like I was trying to realize like, bro, I can't believe this. Like we didn't share our grant, but still over 700 people contributed to us. Like, and it's not like they were walking down the street and they threw, you know, like $1 into a bucket. They like on-ramped fiat to a centralized exchange. Then they like bought like USDC or Dime. Then they withdrew it to their MetaMask wallet, and then they went onto the Gitcoin grant, and then they sent it to the Gitcoin grant. You know, it's like such a complex process. So it's like, okay, this is early stage of Web3, whatever, but also it's like huge, like for us, like, wow, okay, over 700 people actually supported us in that way. And we didn't even share about it. It's such like so humbling, man. And we highly appreciate that. And, you know, we think we're actually incredibly blessed to have such an active community. Like, okay, 1,000 users in Discord, great metric, but over 700 people that have actually contributed to you in this way is like such a telling and key metric, we think. And, you know, we have also over 1,000 early access signups. It's continuing to grow all of the time. And we're actively inviting, you know, our Discord community to come out and, you know, test our demo and kind of provide feedback on that. And, you know, it's going really well. And we can't wait to get Perp added in there real soon. We're working on it kind of right now as we speak.
Yeah, that's gonna be really cool. Yeah, I actually found out about Atlantis World on Twitter when like Yearn posted about the grant. And yeah, I'm just wondering like so like besides Perpetual right now, how many like other like partnership with DeFi blue chips have you guys had now? I know Yearn is one of them.
That's funny, you know, we're literally looking into each other's eyes, like, are you going to take it or do I take it? Yeah, anyway, I said I'm muted. The first ever grant that we received was from Polygon. That was a small, you know, bootstrapping grant, I think in June probably. As we actually started from like, we met each other at Kernel. And this is like backstory. I think it's kind of critical. We came to Kernel, which is Gitcoin project, with two separate projects. I was building, you know, 2D game, like pixel game with NFT collection. Like the game was accessible to everyone, but the people who own the NFT collection, which I never like released it. We never released it, but the collection was, you know, crypto snacks. Imagine, you know, tomato lady, ketchup boss, I don't know, corn man, whatever. It was like super weird animation of battling with each other. That might even skyrocket in the future, who knows? And the coolest part of that was, you know, token gated, because even at that time I was like, wow, it's so upsetting, you know, it's so sad. People just, you know, drop their NFT collections and that's it. There's no utility, just, you know, and most of them it's just, you know, like just random pictures generated by random code and that's it. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. This is like art partially, but what's the utility for community? There should be something more, also social element. So that was fun. And then I met CJ, who was building another metaverse that's, you know, DeFi enabled and also sustainable. And we will touch on that point, which I absolutely love. And it wasn't that long since we decided, you know, let's unite and bring the best of both of our projects and create something like super special in the space. Like from my side, that was, you know, lightweightness and the social element, you know, token gating. From CJ, that was DeFi and sustainability. And overall, I think that's also something which is like our core value. And that's why I shared about this story, is we don't see, you know, that we are like competing with anyone. We're not competing with the central and some space cryptos. We love them. We're actually like building in completely different realm. Like if we're even 2D, you know, like there are 3D. So, and our focus is completely different, because at the end of the day, our core focus is onboarding another billion plus users into DeFi and crypto through this gamification, super easy, seamless, you know, onboarding process, and just like a whole ecosystem where you can do a lot of things. Like imagine like yourself in the city, in real world city, right? You have cinema, you have restaurants, you have shopping malls, you have, I don't know, courses, business kind of schools, universities, whatever you want, you can have it in Atlantis at some point. So in regards to our, you know, supporters, we onboarded Polygon, Audios, Perpetual Protocol, Balancer. We also onboarded Yearn. From the DAO side, we onboarded MetaCartel. They actually gave us the maximum grant possible without any strings attached, but we actually said to them, hey, it will not work like that. Like we will build something in return. It's not like we have to, but we want to, because, you know, we want to give back to everyone who supports us. So we'll build like a super cool like building that will be token gated for their DAO, and there will be, you know, their brand assets. And right now we're in late stages of discussions with other top players. I don't know if you can mention that, but yeah, CJ, you can take from here if you want.
Yeah, we have some exciting things lined up. We can't wait to share with you guys, kind of as and when that will be possible. But we definitely have more news on the way, and kind of more top players, and a kind of constant inflow of them, and a huge kind of interest in collaborating with Atlantis, which again has been incredibly humbling. But also, you know, we're most excited to just get out there and build, and we are building, you know, for communities that we really love, and the kind of top Web3 and crypto communities, like for example, Perpetual Protocol. And all you Perp boys.
Awesome, that's awesome. Yeah. We're also in like the process of like trying to grow our community, like, and yeah, I think this is like one of the first like grants that we got that wasn't like that we accepted, that wasn't like a technical one, and we're really trying to like fund more grants like similar to this actually. And yeah, I think this is like it's like I think it's like the next step basically in like DeFi. It's actually not just like it's to connect like people like in a different way, like a different interface. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So,
for us, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just think what you guys are doing right now
by the way,
is really cool.
Thank you, appreciate it. For us, you know, it like this announcement that we had, right? This exciting AMA, it's just a first step, as we said before, like most of you joined, folks. But we really look into, you know, long-term kind of collaboration with Perp, your community, and actually helping your community grow as much as possible, because, you know, we focus on creating positive sum outcomes for everyone, you know, for you, for Perp core contributors, for community members, because there will be a way for everyone to benefit through the Atlantis, through the experience. And of course, part of that could be, you know, financial benefits, but most of that is actually, you know, like improvement as, you know, individual, and also fun element, which is like core in the like gaming. If your game is not fun, it's not sustainable. And on sustainability, CJ, go ahead.
Yeah, well, so we're also building Great Forest of Atlantis, and it's actually a biodiverse and carbon capturing virtual forest. So how that works, yeah, I know it's a lot, right? So how that works is you'll be able to plant virtual trees inside of Atlantis world, which actually remove carbon from the Earth's atmosphere. So you can imagine we have these NFT trees with funds locked inside of them. Almost every second, we use superfluid finance so that the funds are emitted from the tree and actually swapped for a shopping basket of real world carbon credits that have been bridged on chain, like fully legitimate, even government backed in some cases. And then these carbon credits are taken and actually locked away inside of the tree, inside of the game forever, kind of burned. So we're creating this like in-game carbon black hole, right? And have this primitive system for the kind of social proof and gamification of carbon offsetting. We think that like working with players like Token Network, we can really like drive the kind of on-chain demand for carbon and actually increase the price of carbon itself, which forces polluters to kind of rethink their strategy. There's no cheap get out in terms of just buying carbon credits because the price of them is going up. So either you need to kind of emit less carbon or you need to spend more money, right? So there's some kind of critical rethinking that will need to take place there. We also think it's like the fun game elements. So people can plant trees. And then we're thinking about building in like rarity and scarcity mechanics and also some level system so that if you offset X amount of carbon, you can, for example, like stamp the tree with your, you know, your CryptoPunk or your kind of metaverse identity or even a story or even some branding. And then we'll also have like these user-owned animals. So imagine jaguars, which roam the Great Forest of Atlantis. And they'll actually have, again, kind of real world biodiversity and endangered species credits locked inside of them. So they're actually contributing to biodiversity and protecting endangered species globally. And that's what we mean when we say we have this carbon capturing and biodiverse virtual forest. And we find it to be an incredibly kind of motivating, powerful, and exciting primitive that we can't wait to develop further. And we would love to see you guys come and plant trees in the Great Forest and ride around on some jaguars when it's ready.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, I actually there's like a protocol like called a Climate DAO. That's kind of
Sure.
also
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, like how it will work is Token Network building out like base carbon ton, like as a token. For a second I thought we were talking about real trees. So basically they are going to be like real trees. We're also thinking about how we can use these growth algorithms so that they grow in a similar way to trees in the real world, and they'll be fed nutrients. And and this is where the game element comes in. The nutrients will be the funds that are enabled like to actually buy the carbon credits, and the tree will grow as more funds are deposited and it offsets more carbon. So we are trying to make this as realistic as possible. And there'll also be that on-chain replication, because not are they just like, they offset X amount of carbon. Because of Superfluid, they're constantly always offsetting carbon. And we're trying to really replicate how it happens in the real world as well, versus just like, okay, a batch of carbon is offset, but boom, it's like constant flow. But yeah, we love Kilmadao, we love Token Network, and you know, all the guys who are jamming hard on that, and we can't wait to kind of build it all out in metaverse and kind of bring it to life. And the jaguars, again, they will have like they will replicate real jaguars in that they'll contribute on the same level to biodiversity, and they will actually like go toward protecting endangered species and jaguars, etc.
Oh, I think the NFT like haters on Twitter are gonna have a hard time with this one.
Yeah, man. But how do we explain this? Okay, so like, climate change is solved now. Where the fuck's all the carbon? Yeah, all the carbon is inside of Atlantis. Like, how do we explain this one to our grandparents, right?
Oh, this is
We solved climate change. We solved it. All the carbon is here, locked inside of Atlantis.
Yeah, we want to also like that's kind of intersection between sustainability, kind of philanthropy, and like virtual world, right? Because we want to, and that's another use case for NFTs, right? You can do something good, and also you can prove that you done something good. You can prove that on chain, and you can prove that just by clicking the tree and saying, okay, that carbon offsetting happened by Perp. This is the story why we care about it. This is how much we like offsetted the carbon, and everyone can see that. And another cool thing is, a lot of kind of nonprofit companies can do that. Like Atlantis will receive 0%, like Atlantis DAO, anyone from that. This is like pure nonprofit thing. We want to give back to planet, that, we live in here. There's just only one planet for us at this point.
And then just all talk, just sorry, go on, Rev.
After you.
I was just going to say, whilst we're talking about planets, we're also exploring some collaborations, and you can imagine Mars inside of Atlantis world and kind of SpaceX rockets that will enable you to get there.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, we are crazy. Yeah. But being more like community centric, another our goals is to enable native business models within Atlantis, and especially Atlantis City. So imagine you'll be a landowner and you'll be able either to rent that land. So if you don't want to build something, like you imagine, again, like analogy to real world, right? You have a land, you can rent it, someone can build it somewhere, or you can like build your building, house, restaurant, movie theater, whatever you want, and rent out that. People can actually like literally spend time within your restaurant because it's cozy. There's a lot of music, playlists, you choose in that, and pay you some, small, couple of DAI, whatever, for hourly kind of rent. Or you can also build your own exhibition, right? And people can view that, whether that will be gallery or inside of museum, and you can earn through, let's say, tickets. That could be like super small fee, but let's say if like 1,000 people visit that in a month, that could be something, right? Additional income stream for you. And also beyond that, for the newcomers, for the new artists and creators, we'll have actually like something like a grant, like program, but more like nonprofit lands. Imagine if you're just starting out, there will be part of the Atlantis City that will be like fully nonprofit. So you'll be able to, again, like create a proposal to the DAO, or we might explore that more like a simpler way, but still we want to make it, decentralized. So there will be like high level of quality always. And once you do that, you can showcase your artwork for free, no charges, until you start earning something. And then you'll need to like share a little bit of revenue with Atlantis DAO, not just core team, right? But Atlantis DAO, because we don't see ourselves as, just people who build Atlantis. Atlantis will be built by community and we'll be just a small part of that. That's our vision.
Yeah, that's just like exactly what I was kind of envisioning. That's like coming to like in the next 5 years, or this whole way of like for like people like to just be creators and like earn money like in like a whole different way. I think that's really cool. Yeah, actually, I want to like I want to see if the audience has any questions, because like I'm not sure if they can unmute their mics or anything.
Yeah, we see one question in the chat. Pardon me if I missed this. What platform is this on? So actually, if you mean platform, we like build everything from scratch. We're using Phrasor for game design. Also, we're using some Web3 JavaScript for some integrations and using some APIs, but mostly we're building that from scratch. As for the chain, we first started building on Polygon. Right now we're like cross-chain, because let's say for you to deposit into Yearn, you'll need to do that in mainnet, sorry. And the same thing, if you want to buy it, through Rarible protocol, you'll do that again on mainnet. So we're actually cross-chain right now, but we're also exploring some other chains like Phantom, Avalanche, etc., etc. Yeah, also our XDAI, as you know, and yeah, there is more coming soon. And yeah, the reason for that is, and this is, yeah, that's kind of mentality and values will be all around Atlantis. We don't want to choose for the users. We want them to have a choice, to have a freedom. So we'll, from our side, we'll make it, as much as possible to create interconnected, diverse kind of through the chains, protocols, dApps, applications, an ecosystem within Atlantis, even like on the DAO side, right? We are in touch with Snapshot, Aragon, DAO House, and exploring some another, DAO tooling. Because again, we don't want to impose our beliefs, what project is good or bad. We think they're all great. But I mean, some people are using Snapshot and they prefer that. Some people use Aragon, other people use DAO House. And for us, it's all about freedom for the users.
Yeah, and just to give you some more insight and some background, I see there's like a follow-up question about it being hard to maintain on more than one chain. So like basically how our current demo is set up, all of the game assets, even textures, they're tokenized using Polygon. So they're tokenized on Matic mainnet and then stored securely on chain using IPFS and loaded directly from IPFS. But even with all game assets stored on Polygon, it's not hard for us necessarily per se to launch another dApp, another protocol, another product on a different chain, right? So then you can actually just go into your MetaMask Switch wallets and interact with, for example, Perp on XDAI or later on Arbitrum. It's not difficult for the user to do that. We want to make it like super seamless UX though. So we're brainstorming ways we can make it really simple. But then just to go further on that, we're also exploring with players like Avalanche. You can imagine having like a nation almost inside of Atlantis where all of the game assets then in this kind of like, I don't know, imagine Avalanche Island, they're tokenized natively on Avalanche, all the game assets, all of the land parcels, etc. And all of the dApps, the protocols, the products that are there are also native to the like the AVAX ecosystem. So we're exploring that as well. So we have like, okay, different parts of Atlantis are actually tokenized on different chains. And then they have like a focus on dApps which are native to those chains, which is kind of getting a little complex, but kind of on basic level, it's easy to have everything tokenized on one chain and then launch apps on a variety of different chains.
Yeah, that was actually a huge alpha leak, but yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I think this call has been like, there's a lot of alpha leaks throughout this call.
Yeah, it's like really mind-blowing and super humbling that some of the top players are reaching out themselves. Like there are billion-dollar projects, and they're reaching out to explore that. And we're like absolutely mind-blown by that. And the reason for is because they understand the value of it, right? They understand that, like, because we're not, trying to be better than, Perpetual, we're not trying to create better Perpetual, we're trying to create a better interaction with Perpetual and onboard people through gamified, learning models, just this experience. And that's super critical because if you think about it, right now, the gaming industry is like 3 billion user industry almost, right? Like that's huge. It's incredibly huge, right? It's like roughly saying almost half a population of Earth, which is wow. And the gamers by default, by nature, they're the most, experimental type of users. Like they love, they desire to try new things, to expand, to kind of evolve and also open up these parts of the, maps, etc. So it's part of them. And we think like if we can even grasp, even 10% of that, right? That's insane. Like 300 million people in DeFi, that's like, wow. And that's just 10% or even 5%, right? It's huge. So yeah, that's also one of our goals with that.
Nice. Yeah. So you also mentioned like something about like learning modules. Can you expand on that a bit?
Sure. Imagine inside of Atlantis, there will be a Web3 Academy, which will be a separate building where people will be able to walk inside of that building. And right now we're still exploring the ways we will kind of build it, whether there will be like different classrooms. Imagine, blockchain basics, NFTs, DeFi, and with each classroom, you'll see, interactive learning models. Like you'll, for example, choose, okay, Perpetual protocol, and then you have learning models, you have quizzes, you have videos, visuals, etc. And that will be part of like theory. And I mentioned before, the practical side of that, right? You learn the theory and then you go and interact with that protocol, etc. Right? So there's like practical and theory like interconnected with each other, which is like makes it much better because when you do something yourself, you learn it much better than you just read about it. It's not enough, especially in crypto, right? Yeah. So that will be part of it. And also on that side, we're also exploring collaboration with, for example, Gitcoin, Kernel, Rabbit Hole, and other players as well.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Just is there anyone in the audience, like, do you guys have any more questions that you want to ask? Okay.
Yeah, don't worry too much.
I think right now we've ran about maybe 45 minutes. Okay, to the top. Lee has a question. Lee's our marketing on a marketing team actually.
What's up? Yeah, sure. So like I was just saying a little bit at the beginning of the call, we will have like live on XDAI hopefully by the end of this week, if not kind of like middle of next week. I'll invite you guys to test it out. That's kind of like first milestone of the collaboration. Then after that, we're going to start, putting together mock-ups for the token gated city, explore creating like personalized custom buildings for Perth, inside of the current demo, then anything that we do launch on the current demo will be like featured in the Atlantis City public beta. We're going to start development on in Q4, which is basically now, actually, which is crazy. It comes around so fast. And then we're also hoping by the end of Q4, we'll be able to invite the Perp community to test out a beta version of Perp City. But in terms of actually launching, we think it's going to be a process of, coming back and forth, engaging the community, receiving suggestions, like bug fixes, development improvements, like probably between Q1 and Q2 next year, it will actually be like officially live and launched, Perp City. But we're really hoping we can have like beta version live in Q4. Yes, we are going to keep you up to date on Discord. You can also join our Discord and kind of just like follow us on Twitter is probably the best place. But we will want to be like keeping, updated with the Perp community at every step. And I'm sure the Perp guys will be helpful in that as well, as they have been great so far. And like I said, we're hoping to invite kind of all of the community to come and test out like Perp inside of Atlantis this week or next week, basically.
Yeah, and also on that note, we view any collaboration as especially like city, land building, like space as work of art. And we think, and we like truly believe for it to be like complete, there should be like 3 parties involved, a little bit from our side, like building, designing, and a lot from the side of Perpetual protocol, core contributors and community. And what we mean by a lot is, feedback, part of your kind of vision, kind of even like the way you see how maybe like everything should be put together and what you would love to see. Because at the end of the day, we want to create robust environment, robust city for your community, for you. So you'll enjoy to spend time there, and even like to extreme level more than in real life. That's kind of the extreme, goal. But why not? Like you need to love it, absolutely, right? To spend like to have that tab always open, to listen to music, to interact with your friends, even family, whatever. GM folks, yeah.
I'm so ready to like just spend less time on GatherTown and Discord, and just go here instead. I'm so ready for that. So.
Yeah, man, I love that. That's great.
I appreciate it.
I mean, like Web3 is the future, right?
And exactly. And the beautiful part is you will own part of that world. It's not just you will use it. And will be no moderator that can ban you. In fact, like, of course, the DAO can maybe choose at some point if you're like bad actor. And if you have like, if you, for example, renting the land, yeah, it can be taken from you if you're a bad actor, but still that will be fair. But you can own that land if you have this NFT in your MetaMask wallet. Nobody can take it unless you share your seed phrase with someone, or send it. And that's a really disruptive part of the blockchain game and NFT space, right? If you spend like and have this kind of horrible experience in like Web2 games, if you don't, if moderator doesn't like you or you do something which he seems that maybe like bad or rule breaking, they will just shut your account down or take your items, which is sad because you spend your life earning that.
Yeah, I've been banned many times in League of Legends, so
yeah. You feel
on that topic, like in like a city like this, Atlantis World, like there could also be like bad actors, right? Like we see like in RuneScape, there might be people that like traders that can scam other people, and I'm just wondering like what do you guys like? I know it's pretty far down the line, but what have you guys thought of any kind of like measures against stuff like this happening?
Yeah, we actually did. So part of the social elements on that, imagine you'll have also like your nickname, which will be linked to your like, even right now you have it, right? You can see Rev inside of Atlantis. That will be linked to my wallet. And we are also exploring like even let's say with Pop or other players as well. So you can have a lot of badges and also badges from actually earning, like completing quests within Atlantis, earning your, levels, your kind of credibility within the ecosystem. And the higher you have it, right, the higher like the perks you will achieve. And if you're bad actors, we think that will be fair to explore this one of the ways again, like some voting, or you can like report spam or scam, and other people can see that as well. And if someone has a lot of like scam or spam reports, there should be, of course, some system in place. But at the same time, because we're approaching like permissionless kind of decentralization, right? We should like create a model where it won't happen just because we want that, right? We should not be able to kind of interfere that, year 2-3 years from now, because if that will be like permissionless and decentralized, there should be no way we can shut someone down. They should be done by either DAO or the community, right? So that's a bit challenging, but we will get there for sure.
Yeah, I actually that's one of the biggest like concerns that people have, and but at the same time, like you see this happen in like stuff
Yeah,
today
even on
anyway,
Discord,
right?
like I literally turned off
Yeah,
the DMs because
yeah,
I get like on average 15 messages a
yeah,
day,
yeah.
which is
It's
crazy.
it's not like anyone's protecting us on Discord at all either. So
Like I
yeah,
just report spam, but still it's it's like crushing my DMs. Yeah, not
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. It'll be interesting to see like how everything plays out in the future. Yeah. So yeah, I mean kind of want to end things soon, just kind of get like a final statement from you guys. Like we were really happy to support you guys and continue doing so. And just like a final word from you guys, like what is your like, if you could tell anyone about Atlantis World, like in like a few sentences, like what would it be like?
That's so classic. He's looking at me, and yeah, we started with vision to create a place where you can live, work, play, and earn, and that's the Atlantis. That's the world where you'll benefit, and you'll own that world, part of it, and you'll contribute to that, and the world will give back to you. And
Perfect.
also the beautiful part of that world is open for everyone, no matter of your level of exposure to crypto. Everyone will find their place. They will find their belonging to community. And if not, we're always here for you. Like we spend a lot of time just answering questions on Discord DMs, and because we love it, we want to we support people. We really appreciate everyone, and we always say one is bigger than zero. Even like here, like we have like 3 listeners, and we absolutely love that. It's not like, oh gosh, we just have 3 of them. It's like, wow, like you literally took day out of your life, that hour, that 50 minutes to listen to 2 like crazy people on the internet, and we really love it. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. Highly appreciate it.
Awesome. Okay, thank you, Rev. Thank you, CJ.
Anytime, man.
Hopefully we can speak again, and next time in Discord. And yeah,
Awesome,
it's really
guys.
good to have you guys on here. Thank
Fantastic.
you.
Thanks so much. Peace out, guys.
Cheers.
Okay, chat later. Bye bye.